unfundable.
Fusion reaction.
Oh, hell yeah.
Get to the chopper!
Press no up.
Gigantic fusion reactor that just works.
Multiple income streams and real yield. Cheats can no longer dump on your heads. The revolutionary decentralized finance protocol. Fusion reaction in T-minus 3, 2, 1. Fusion!
You don't know the power.
The math is unfundable.
Fusion reaction.
Oh, hell yeah.
The mothership.
And what's it gonna do?
Everybody excited.
Oh, hell yeah.
Give my creation! Fusion.
Get ready to rumble.
Fusion.
Gotta do a huge shout out to Cool Sheet. That song just hits.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to EMP live stream, our official EMP live stream. We come to you every Thursday at 6:45 p.m. Eastern. My name is AJ. I am the team lead here, and I'm joined by my co-host with the most and fellow team member, LA, how are you?
Hello, everybody. I'm good. Welcome.
Yeah, no doubt. I can't get the words out. I'm too excited. We have another incredible market pump. So, the title of today's video, the July crypto jumpstart. I mean, again, it's pretty incredible. I don't want to get too excited, but it's definitely, all coming together in terms of what the timeline is that we've been talking about for 2, 3 years now. I mean, typically you see the alt cycle really start to run in the summer following the Bitcoin halving, and then we see a really killer, at least the banana zone is what they call it, but at least the first leg up, maybe even the first blow off top in October, and then even maybe a second blow off top, a few months later, or it just continues. I mean, I'm still a believer in the super cycle where there's just so much interest now in crypto, institutional, government, just everybody buying Bitcoin. Obviously, Bitcoin's stealing the show, but once Bitcoin starts to get really toppy, my personal prediction is somewhere in the 200 to 300 range. People are going to look for taking profit into larger gains, and that is when we see an alt cycle. So again, a 2x from here is a $200,000 Bitcoin. A 3x in ETH is only, like a $7,500 ETH. So people usually start buying alts because they want that higher multiplier. And again, I think ETH is still extremely undervalued. Obviously, being part of EMP and having the exposure to ETH is really bullish for all of us. And again, I think that a $10,000 ETH is definitely in the cards. I saw Kathy Wood, one of our most prolific investors of modern day, early investor in Tesla, all the big companies, and she called for a $25,000 Ethereum. And again, I mean, those numbers sound crazy, but ETH, regardless of all the L2s, everybody says L2s are competition, and that is definitely true. I mean, I definitely don't agree with how the Ethereum Foundation handled the L2s. I think they should have been charging a little more of a premium for all the batching and really helped push that volume or economic energy into ETH mainnet. But that all being said, you're never going to compete with the history and the security that ETH mainnet has. And with everything coming online in terms of RWAs, real world assets, financial systems, DeFi, what we're doing, all of that, all the big, multi-$100 million protocols are going to be building on ETH. So I really think that the use case is still there, and we do see ETH though to go alongside with Bitcoin once the engines start revving up. So again, that's a little bit of overview. But July Jumpstart is looking really good. Um, and that really translates into everything we're doing as well. Bonds are performing really well. We were up about 150K in bonds overall just from price appreciation alone yesterday, which is bullish. I mean, again, when we see, like I said, even $5,000 Ethereum bonds and APRs will be double than what they are today. So all that's really bullish. LA, what do you think? Are you getting bullish too?
Oh yeah, you know it.
Awesome. I love it. So, all right. That was a little bit of a longer intro. I didn't even, before we really get into the meat and bones of today, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. That really helps. Again, we're almost on the verge of being over 3,000 subs again. So please make sure you're subbing and spreading the word about our channel. That really helps get the word out and helps with the engagement, especially when, crypto summer comes to an end and we're getting into a bull run. The larger crypto channels will really start getting a lot more engagement, and we want to be right there up with that. So all right, let me go ahead and open the comments again. If you do have a question, feel free to ask. We will get to it at the end here, and we'll show comments as well. So all right, let me pull up my notes. LA, what is first on the agenda for today?
A bonds update. Spoiler alert, but we are over 1.6 million minted in bonds. Holy cow.
Let's go. Hell yeah. All right, let me share my screen. I'll pull that up and give a quick overview here. But yeah, I know things have been looking really good today, or over the last few days, really. So, all right. All right. So, yeah. Oh, hang on. All right, here we are. So bonds looking really, really powerful. Again, even with the market pump, we had a lot of price appreciation on top of new mints. We're now up to 600 or 6,350 total mints. Again, that's a cool number you can track right here that we've updated to see how many are actually being minted. And if again you go to current fund value, it will show you all the value on chain, which uh, no other protocol fully docks their position. So this alone is super bullish. But you can see that it isn't just a number. All 1 point almost 4 million is right here and in the fund earning. So scroll down again, you can see all of our different positions, um, and how we're allocated, but you can't see the actual ranges, which is the secret sauce. So we're as transparent as we can be without giving away any potential, sensitive information. So super bullish. And again, we said, our LA just out at 1.6. Remember, we have our white labels. So when we say under the bond umbrella, it means everything. And this was the first white label here. Bernard bonds, as you can see, just about 300K in Bernard bonds as well. So really powerful. Again, APR and bond price are very similar. The only reason they differ is just because of the size of the fund and the entries and exits of people. Again, the old or the original Treasury bonds has been going for about 2.5 more weeks than Bernard bonds, so that's why there's a little discrepancy. But over the long run, they will even out about the same. It's just a matter about getting in front of new audiences. And speaking of new audiences, we have two brand new communities that are onboarding for white label. So one of them or both of them are definitely well known. Again, I guarantee that when I say who they are, you have heard of them or maybe are even in that community. And they're going to be using bonds of their own to provide real revenue to their own protocols. And this is where bonds really start to shine because now we're able to provide infrastructure in real yield and real earnings to protocols that are already existing. And that's really bullish because we can scale dramatically from that. And, again, we're essentially the yield generating machine for a lot of these protocols that don't have real yield and need that to be sustainable. So that's really, really cool. The one I can definitely go public with, hopefully by early next week. The other one I may not be able to go public with for a few more weeks because they're rolling it out to their private community first. But both of them are, again, we're talking more than 4,000 token holders per community. Some are even way more than that. So yeah, it's going to be really powerful, I think. And that's just the beginning. I mean, that's over the next 2 weeks, let alone what we do over the next 2 months. So we're scaling really nicely. APR is holding up. Again, remember when we do get big fluctuations, APR will dip momentarily until we deploy the capital. And obviously, it also depends on volume. Even though we've been seeing a lot of price action, the volume is still fairly low. So as volume picks up, then APR picks up, and we've said all along we're shooting for the 80 to 120% APR range, and over the entire year we can definitely hit those numbers. So yeah, I think we're looking really good, LA. Was there anything else I missed from the notes?
No, I mean, that was so bullish. You've got me fired up.
Yeah, totally. I know. I've been stacking bonds of my own from the beginning. So yeah, I mean, and again, the EMP Treasury is recovering. Um, Payouts have been going out to all that were affected in the original um issue, and I know a lot of you have been compounding into bonds as well because that's another thing. Like, we don't want to encourage people to do anything they're not comfortable to do, but compounding into bonds while the price is low and the market is low has an exponential return down the road. And again, this is not no inflation, no game theory. Again, people say, "Well, I compounded in detonator and didn't make anything." This is totally different. So this is not a game. This is real yield, and compounding into this gives you more and more bonds, which therefore gives you more and more Ethereum through the price or through the principle of having exposure to ETH and blue chip alts that are in the fund overall. So yeah, I'm really excited for this, and to be at almost $2 million within the first month and a half, not even, is powerful. And again, you can see we paid out, and this is a conservative estimate, but just since we've been tracking it, we've almost paid out 60 grand. So again, APRs are really holding up well. All right, awesome. Anything else with bonds before I switch?
No, I think that's it.
All right, awesome. Give me a second here. All right, so what do we have up next? We're gonna update on Sparkswap. LA, do you want to go through that a little bit, and then I can.
Yeah. Yeah, so we do have a backup site for Sparkswap while we work on the domain server team with the domain server team. to get the original site back up. It was just a front end thing. We did a really thorough explanation last week. And so if you're wanting to get the full explanation of what happened, definitely go back and listen to that. But it literally is just with the domain, the URL domain server team. And so we have the backup site. It's tagged on the pinned posts of all of our like the Sparkswap Discord, the DexSwap Telegram. And so make sure to check it there. Do not fall for any scams. Only look at the pinned announcements for that. But for now, you can see all your positions are still there, safe, everything. It was just a front end issue. We did get some reports that obviously the trading wasn't available yet. And so Jake is working on that and getting that back up and firing. So that should be back up momentarily. Not going to give a timeline, but whenever he has been able to successfully do that. But that's pretty much it for Sparkswap news at this very moment.
Yeah, 100%. So just to follow up again, we went through a deep dive of why this all happened. Essentially, the bad guys, so to speak, reported us as a possible phishing site, and we have to prove to the web company that we aren't. So in the meantime, we just put up the secondary site, and then like LA said, the devs, including Chad, one of our original devs, or Jake again, he's gonna also hopefully update the swap and liquidity pages. Again, because of the URL, all the smart contracts work. So again, if you're crypto savvy, you can still actually interact on chain, even though it's a bit of a mess because Pulse doesn't even really have a good on-chain explorer anyway. But again, if you're not comfortable with that, please don't, because you could really hurt yourself unintentionally doing the wrong thing. But it should be good to go in another very short time frame. So all right, that's Sparkswap. And again, I know I'm going to get it in the questions already. We're still on track. The same plan for Sparkswap is and always has been a migration. So if you have Spark tokens or you're in Sparkler, you will be getting credit in our new multi-chain DEX token when that happens. So and two, I know we're working on an announcement about the stable tokens as well. So if you had USDEX or SDI, we'll have an update for you on those as well in the next few days. I know a lot have been asking about that as well. So, all right, I think that covers that update. Let me keep going here. What's up next, Lily?
All right. So up next, we're going to give a little update on the legacy contracts and USDT batteries.
Yeah. So we're still in the heat of all that. Again, bringing on two brand new white labels. Like I said last week, it's been adjusting schedules. Obviously, the devs have the holiday weekend as well, so that cut this week shorter. But we are, working on it every single day. So the plan right now, although we don't have timelines, is most likely the USDT battery will be done first. And then shortly after will be the full migration. So just so you know, again, it is priority, but the other priority is getting revenue coming back to all of us through the bonds, and ultimately it will make the migration even more successful because those that do want to exit can, and we have plenty of ammo to buy discounted microgrids. So it's all part of the plan. Again, I apologize for the delay, but no real hard updates on that yet either. So anything else you want to add to that, Ellie?
No, I think you covered it all.
All right, awesome. So now we have some more bullish news. We are working on a couple of new initiatives for EMP and eSHARE. So I know a lot of you have been, asking, bonds are great, but when is the attention going back to the core tokens? the answer to that is the attention is always on the core tokens. The only reason we're doing bonds is because they are an incredible product market fit, and we're getting yield and fees from the bonds that make EMP, eShare, Fusion, APR, and GDEX even more powerful. So uh, that being said, though, we're definitely always looking at ways to try to encourage the community. We've had an amazing giveaway program for top sacrificers. We had to kind of scale that back so that we weren't giving away more than what was generated. But now we have a really cool secondary initiative for EMP on top of that. So we're introducing brand new achievement badges. So a lot of you have gotten some badges with your overall positions. These badges are going to be based on milestones that you actually sacrifice. So this is different. I'll show them here in a second. Let me pull it up. All right, so I've blurred out the top three, but you can see the first three. So you will be getting one of a kind custom artwork. I did use some AI, but a lot of these were done with my digital art background. I know everybody was excited to get a piece of art that I had a hand in, so that was cool. Really happy to do that for the community. And yeah, you have to actually sacrifice 1,000, 5,000, 10,000. Actually, let me go through them before I forget. LA, you want to read them off? What were the different levels and their cool names?
Yep, let's do it. Let me just pop this open in our chat.
Yeah.
All right, so 1K EMP is the ribbon of duty. 5K EMP is the medal of dedication. 10K EMP is the insignia of honor. 25K EMP is the cross of sacrifice. 50K EMP is the order of loyalty. And finally, 100K EMP is the banner of the vanguard. And just to let you know, if you are doing more than 100 and people are just blowing this out of the water, we'll create more.
Yes, 100% LA. I love it. So yeah, we blurred out the top three. They're really badass. I mean, if you like the first three, you'll love the last three. So it encourages you to collect all of them, and again, help the community in the same way. And again, we've always said in the future, there may be some other utility and use case for these, badges as well. So what happens is when you do it, we'll look at the on-chain data. Again, shout out to Grover and John. This is one of their ideas, and they've been asking me to do it forever now. I finally got some time to do it. And so Grover and John will go through and update based on the on-chain data, and then the badge will show up in your my Fusion page on fusionwatch.com. So you go to fusionwatch.com, and then my Fusion, and it'll show your overall microgrid badge, which again, I know a lot of you have been using those as profile pictures. And then this will be separate to, more achievement badges as well. So it's just a cool way to give a little more incentive and get people excited to collect as we go. So yeah, if you have any more questions, please feel free to join our Telegram and just chat with Grover. Again, not public or not privately, in case there's an imposter. But I know a lot of you already talked to Grover anyway, so you know that you have a message history. But that will help, get the word out. And then, yeah, it also comes with a bonus. So again, if you do sacrifice that EMP, you will get a little surprise. So again, I'll let you join the socials to get all the info. But I'm excited for this. And then there's another initiative. Again, I'm not gonna give too much alpha yet, but we're working on a really cool initiative for eShare. So stay tuned for that. I think a lot of you will be really excited. Yeah, there you go. Grover said what you get. So you get a little bonus. You can look in the comments to see. But yeah, if you're sacrificing that EMP, you do get a little bit of bonus. So again, I'll let you guys join the socials to know all the details, but it'll be worth your while, put it that way. So yeah, and then hopefully you share uh, little community incentive project. Again, I don't want to give away what it is, but I think it's going to be really cool to help not only give some excitement around eShare, but also some potential buying pressure on eShare as well. So yeah, we're working on a lot of stuff. LA again, you, John, Rover, all the guys behind the scenes have been really trying to still push out some great updates, right?
Yeah, shout out to these guys. They've been working so hard to help us implement ideas, come up with ideas of their own, and big part of the reason why Fusion continues to grow and evolve. So big shout out to Grover and John, and everybody behind the scenes who's really been helping. It's very much appreciated always.
Yeah, no doubt. Even again, some of the diehard VIPs, they come and they go. But it's funny that when the markets start heating up again and people are a little bit more excited in crypto, we get a lot more engagement, a lot more support. So thank you to all of you that have been around and still, help, invest in your investment. What we say all the time, it's a big deal to try to, not just say dev do something and actually as a community help rally around the project. So that does not go unnoticed for sure. So all right, awesome. Right on, we're making headway. I know tonight had to be a little short and sweet anyway, but we're moving right along here. I'll explain why we had to be short and sweet. Yeah, drum roll. There you go, like. So we have a very cool live premiere in about what 30 minutes, a little bit more, over on the Universe Madness site. So we have been hard at work with HVM, Universe Madness, our trading card game, and tonight, right before our regular AMA, we have the brand new gameplay trailer. So this trailer is going to actually show a lot of the in-game footage, what we have been building for the last 6 months or 8 months. I mean, if you include pre-production, it's been over a year now. So that's really powerful. Please, 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 everybody, even if you're not a gamer, please show up to that premiere and share it. We can post the link in the comments below. And then I'll do an update with some commentary on our regularly scheduled AMA, but afterwards. But the game is really coming together. We've done our final payment milestone for the playable alpha, so I'll go into detail about this on that AMA. But we're hoping to have the playable alpha by the end of the year. Again, the game being Halloween themed. We're hoping for a release right around Halloween, and we'll have our pack sale about 1 to 2 months before that, and then we're off to the races. So making major headway. I think when you guys see the actual gameplay trailer, you will be super impressed. And if you missed the big announcement already, we have announced our home chain for Universe Madness, and that is Immutable. So Immutable has really started to get some interest again. They've really started ramping up their socials and their presence. Web3 is really starting to heat up again. And why we chose Immutable was simply the eyeballs. I mean, they have Gods Unchained, which is arguably, even though I think Splinterlands is probably the best trading card game in Web3, I'd say that Gods Unchained is the most popular. And so, we can definitely piggyback on that. And the eyeballs will have our own immutable landing page for Universe Madness and really start to ramp up the advertising into the end of the year for that. And why it matters is remember, at least 10% of all game revenue will come back and feed EMP and EMP Fusion. So really exciting times. And yeah, LA, anything you want to
Yeah.
add to that? Yeah.
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to pull back from a theme that we had that was quite prevalent during last AMA, and that is that there are multiple really powerful income streams, revenue streams coming to Fusion. So the bonds, obviously, we've been talking about a lot because they're really important for our ecosystem. And especially once the compensation plan is fully paid back and EMP has a chance to really build up our treasury. The bonds are just one income stream for Fusion. But don't sleep on the fact that HVM is going to draw major attention both in the Web 2 and Web 3 worlds and has the potential to be a massive income stream for Fusion. And so everything we're doing now to build this really strong foundation and build our positions inside Fusion is going to pay off because we have so much coming. That's just two of many revenue streams coming for Fusion, or ones that are already existent but are going to be more powerful once we get our treasury back into a robust position and we have the ability to have more developers building things quicker and stuff like that. So do not sleep on this time period right now that you have to add to both your Fusion and bond positions, because you are literally like paving the way for your future. Obviously, none of this is financial advice, but I don't want to hear, I wish you had have warned me back then, you know?
Yeah, absolutely, LA. I love this, and that dovetails into the first question for tonight. Again, why is peg listed on Fusion site 0.275? Shouldn't it be a dollar? So yeah, this is actually the difference in peg. So current ratio puts it at 0.275. The dollar peg is based on $4,000 Ethereum. So in reality, again, as ETH goes up, peg, right now peg could be the real peg value, because we're almost about half, is almost like 80 cents. So it is a floating peg, again, 4,000 to 1, and the 0.275 just shows the difference from where we are now to peg. And why that's important is exactly what LA was just saying, is the peg bonus. So when we are below peg, you get a multiplier on your sacrifice, and that can be substantial, in terms of getting a good position while things are low. So again, LA mentioned it perfectly just now, but just don't forget. I know a lot of you already have great positions in Fusion, but if you are looking to get exposure to the Fusion ecosystem, you need to buy and sacrifice ASAP to take advantage of that peg bonus. So again, not financial advice, not a call to invest, just pointing out how the mechanics of that peg multiplier work. So yeah, do you want to add to that, LA? No. Oh, you're muted. Or we're good. Okay, we can go to the next one. All
Sorry, I
right.
was having a hard time getting it to unmute.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no
no, we're
worries.
good. We are ready to move on for sure.
All right, awesome. Let's get down to the other questions. LA, while you look on Discord, I'll go through a few more here. I also saw David. Shout out to David. He reposted the stream. So if you are coming over from David's community, hello. I had an amazing meeting with David earlier this week. He's a big player in the DeFi world, and I won't spoil too much, but let's put it this way: he's very excited about about what we offer with DexFi. So shout out to you. Thanks for being here, Dave. All right, what else we got here? Yeah, this is a great question, surely not. Is the bond minted counter dynamic? Reduces when sold, and then or reduces when they're sold or burned. So yeah, that is a great question. To my knowledge, it is dynamic. I will double check this. But nobody has really redeemed bonds, so that's the other really cool thing. Um, right now, I think people understand it's about getting a good position and earning yield. Remember, you do get hit with a 10% redemption fee, and that's another reason why in the first month I don't think we've seen any redemptions. Just because you need to be in for at least a month to earn enough to make up for that fee, and the cool part about that fee is that it doesn't go to us, as the devs. It goes to all of you that are in the fund. So that 10% stays and is additional working capital to a boost APR for everybody else. And when you decide to leave eventually, you get part of that 10% from everybody else. So it's a really cool way to ensure the long-term mindset. And yeah, but I'll find out. I'm almost positive it is dynamic, so you will see that number go up and down. But as of right now, we've had no people redeem, so bullish. Yeah, cool. Okay.
Are we
All
going to
right.
keep
Yeah.
doing YouTube or do you want any from
Yeah.
Discord?
Sorry, Ellie. Yeah, I was still looking. I think that really not a whole lot from uh from YouTube. Let me see.
Here's one.
Grover.
Will you be willing to sign the artwork?
Yeah, there you go. I did. Okay, I did. I'm right on that one now. So yeah, that's a great question. I don't know how I would digitally sign a digital, piece, but yeah, shoot me a DM and I'll send you over, a little scribble of my signature. So that's funny. I love it. Yeah, absolutely.
Here's one. Will purchasing microgrids count towards the new badges?
Yes, that's a good question. On the surface, I don't think that is the case. I'll have to have Grover elaborate, because we're really trying to encourage you to help peg, and therefore it would need to be a new purchase of EMP and sacrifice. So, and to be honest, you're already getting some microgrids are a better deal than even the bonus you get from this new promo. So, it's up to all of you. I would look maybe on the marketplace first. But then, yeah, I think the new initiative is meant for new purchases and sacrifices of EMP. But you can read the terms and conditions on the website. We'll be updating that Fusion Watch website. And again, Grover can elaborate as well. So
Awesome.
cool.
Let's see what else. All right. So those are all the ones from YouTube. So here are a couple from here. Can we insure our cryptocurrency holdings with bonds in the near future?
Wow, what a timely comment. I swear, some of you guys are so tapped in, or you have my office bugged, one or the other. But we're actually looking into this week. We've had a lot of people ask about trying to get some insurance. And there is a beefy finance, a lot of the other big, liquidity management sites that have, 100 million or more in assets. They do offer some insurance. So the short answer is we're looking into it. Typically, they don't want to talk to you until your TVL is over 10 million. But we're going to be there sooner than later at this rate. So that's a great milestone for us to shoot for. I would say when we are at 10 million TVL, we will have some insurance options. And how that works is it's a third party, and they do a risk assessment on our contracts and the tokens themselves. They give you a score basically, and then it translates into a premium. So again, just rough numbers. We I think $10,000 of insurance was around $200. I don't know if that again. We're just looking into it, but it is affordable. Again, for those that want that extra bit of protection, the insurance, crypto insurance is becoming a bigger thing now. So we have a lot more options. So yeah, we'll update you when the time is right, but I don't know if we're able to get it until we get a little more TVL.
Well, that's exciting though.
Yeah, absolutely, LA for sure. So I know Tech CEO again, he had looked into this a while ago, and this week, both of us were making some calls. So, and
Mhm.
we are working on a fireside chat um, with Jake, Tech CEO. Again, all of our devs are Jake, but yeah, he'll hopefully have something later this month that we can update everybody on.
Awesome. I can't remember whether we asked this last week or not, or if it's a new one, but they want to know when we'll get the details on the investigation of the hack. I know we released the audit, but they want to know actually like who was at fault and the intricate details.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, we've been making some major headway with that, and we get into an interesting situation, of what we can release, and not compromise the investigation. So the short answer is it's all there. It's a third party investigator. We've had a lot of headway with that. It's still ongoing, and obviously that the auditing itself in terms of whether the new contracts are safe that has already been released. Again, Zelic is the parent company of Code Farina. Both of them, the actual hackathon through Code Farina, that is still ongoing, but the initial report came back. We had one medium issue that we solved, and you can see that report in all of our socials. So yeah, unfortunately, I can't comment right now on the investigation, but we're exploring it to all ends of the earth. I'll put it that way. So
Yeah, and you have to remember that when things are at the level that they're being submitted to the FBI and all of that, you can't necessarily put all of your cards out on the table right in the middle of an investigation because
totally.
we have to follow the guidelines and instructions of the people leading the investigation to make sure that if there's a possibility of the guilty parties to get prosecuted, that we do everything in our power so that they will, and we don't kind of tip our hat. So as soon as we're able to, we definitely will.
Yep, 100%. And again, I can confirm that we have been in touch with the FBI. So again, it's that's great news in and of itself. So all right, awesome.
Okay, last one on Discord. Can you explain in more detail about the process of getting to PEG? They want to know a timeline. Obviously, we're not going to give them one, but just explain more in detail.
Yeah,
And explain what happens if price goes up, and just all of that kind of stuff.
yeah, totally. So I'll give it a go, and then if I forget something, just chime in, LA. But yeah, I mean, obviously, and we went over this a little bit on the last AMA. People are a little bit confused on why PEG even matters at this point. But the short answer is that it does. And the reason is that it gives a fair market value. And obviously, tomorrow we could say, hey, everybody, guess what? PEG we're just moving the goalposts, and now Peg, we're at Peg. Peg is 2,000 to 1 Ethereum. But that ruins all the infrastructure and all the game theory behind the Peg bonus establishing the fair market value of ETH and giving a correlation between EMP and ETH. Again, we've said from the very beginning ETH or EMP is meant to be a fractionalized Ethereum, and if we start moving the ratios and the numbers, then that becomes a lot less true as we go. And so ultimately, that is represented in your microgrid value. So we have to have again a baseline that we can go by and enforce the bonus of sacrificing what we're below peg and then not giving you any additional credit when we are eventually above peg. So that gives you a background of why we haven't just said peg doesn't matter or to get rid of peg. And how we're able to regain peg is really quite simple. I mean, EMP is now a supply cap token, meaning when you maybe started in EMP, we were a highly inflationary ecosystem. Again, the seigniorage model, just like many fiat currencies, including the US dollar, what they do, they print more. And in the beginning, that's amazing because everybody's making incredible yield. But if you don't, know how to play the game, or you get caught, with big bags, you can get hurt really bad with a highly inflationary system. And so we learned all of that through our experience with EMP over the last 3 years. And, we transitioned again. That was why the migration happened to be fully non-inflationary. Now there is a cap supply of EMP, and just basically simple math says if you're always buying and burning that token, as long as there's a cap supply, it is inevitable that there would be no more EMP on the market to buy or sell. And so we're doing this forced um, game of attrition where everybody gets their value now in Fusion rather than holding liquid EMP, and that will help us recover peg and give a way for new users to get into EMP and EMP Fusion at a constant peg value. So again, over we're not giving a timeline, but in the near future, we all as a community and as with the Treasury, we buy EMP, we burn it or sacrifice it into Fusion. That will automatically get us closer and closer to peg. Once we are at peg, we turn on our peg stabilization bots that will always keep EMP at the perfect 4,000 to 1 ratio. So again, if ETH goes to 8,000, now EMPs were $2 instead of 1. That ratio will always be there. And you can buy EMP, but when you buy EMP, we actually are able to sell into that. And then if you're below peg, we buy below peg and we sacrifice. So it's a way to keep the equilibrium, and that becomes then a revenue stream to Fusion itself. So that will help boost APR. And then we get to a point where there is no more EMP. Nobody can buy or sell EMP. And then when that happens, all the economic energy through what LA said earlier about 8 different revenue streams starts feeding Fusion. And that's when the APR in Fusion goes up. And then Fusion is essentially just like bonds, where you have an ownership of the protocol and you get paid out, every day, every week, in yield from owning a part of EMP Fusion, which is essentially owning part of everything that we build moving forward. So yeah, I think that's a good overview, LA. Sorry, it might have been
Yes.
a little complicated, but you're gonna
Honestly, like
yeah.
I was getting a little bit frustrated last week because after the last 2, 3, 4 AMAs that we've had where we've really gone over why PEG matters, there were people on Discord, of course, saying, we haven't done an adequate explanation of why PEG matters. And if I have to sum it down to one sentence, it's that everybody gets to make a whole hell of a lot more money when we get to PEG. And our focus and attention can be on the things that really count towards you making more money. But until then, we have to support PEG in order to get our ecosystem to a spot where we can move on to these different initiatives and start focusing on different things that are going to make Fusion more attractive, that are going to make the current holders more money, that are going to attract new holders. And all of the pieces can come into their appropriate spots so that we can move forwards. I don't know how it's possible that we haven't done an adequate explanation. I mean, we have certainly gone over it a lot over the last few weeks. So that comment kind of frustrated me, but it seems like this particular user who asked today just needed a further explanation on how it all works. And we're always happy to go over it again. Just know that it's not that complicated when it comes to why it matters. Just know that it matters so that the time and energy and money you've put in actually starts to work for you.
Yeah, absolutely, LA. And again, I mean, the only other alternative is to just say, this is it and burn all the EMP that we have. But the problem is that there is a lot of EMP that we don't own. Again, we have a large majority that's held by the Treasury, but we have a lot that isn't. And so, if we make a hard decision of saying, hey, peg doesn't matter anymore, you have to sacrifice or that's it, then then now all the holders become market makers, and we have way less control. And then we get in a situation where, kind of sort of like what we're in now, where we do make some headway and then the whales dump on our heads. So that is something we have to get through. And with the peg system and sacrificing into fusion, there will be a point that the whales that are selling are no longer able to buy EMP cheaper than what they bought it for or sold it for. So that alone, again, helps reinforce the system of fairness. Really, that's what it boils down to. We have to have a fair market value of EMP so that those that have been sacrificing at lower levels and buying EMP and getting a big peg bonus are getting credit they deserve, and that when we do get back to peg, there is opportunity for new users to come into EMP where we all benefit, where they get a good entry. They know that we're at peg, so we wouldn't have violent swings up and down anymore. And then once all the EMP and all that float is gone, then we now have everything moving into fusion. And yes, at that point, peg is a lot less relevant because there is no more EMP. But when that happens, yield will be amazing because now we don't have to spend anything on trying to defend peg and provide that liquidity. That the all the liquidity can go into yield instead. So there's just many things that rely on the first thing happening, then the second, then the third. It's a multi-step process, and we're making headway. I mean, again, I think a lot of people want it to happen overnight. This is not an overnight protocol. This is a generational protocol. I mean, we can, with the infrastructure we have and the way Fusion was built, we are set up for years to come, not just the next bull run. So please keep that in mind as well.
Yeah,
Cool.
absolutely. Definitely.
All right. I think that was it on my side. Do you
Yep.
see any more, LA? Yeah.
No, I think that's it. Reminder, guys, in 22 minutes, our live premiere begins. I have it pinned in all of the Honor versus Madness groups. Make sure you're not only joining those groups, but you're following our Honor versus Madness YouTube channel as well. We will meet you all over on YouTube in 20 minutes from now. Again, just head on over to our announcements on Discord or our HVM Telegram group for the pinned announcements. That premiere link is there. It starts at 8 p.m. and then we have our HVM AMA at 8:30.
I love it. Let's fucking go for sure, LA. And yes, if you're an EMP holder, or again, if you just want to do me a personal favor, please share that gameplay trailer. It's spectacular. It shows the real in-game footage. It's not, some AI promise. This is actually what the game is going to be. And it's very powerful. So please share that out. We need more interest about the game. And again, as a bag holder with EMP, that matters to you. So you should be putting in the work and shilling it the best that you can, because that has direct revenue coming back to Fusion. So, all right, awesome. LA, that I think we'll wrap it up. You already kind of gave your final words, but any final words of wisdom? You always leave us with a positive message. So,
My final message is I'll see you guys over there on the premiere. Be there or be square.
All right, there you go. So, all right, and as always, we come to you every Thursday at 6:45 p.m. Eastern. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe on your way out. And yes, we will see you over on the HVM YouTube next. Link is in all of our socials, and that'll do it. So happy 4th as well to all of you. I know we celebrated Canada Day on the 1st. And again, if you're not in America, I hope that you enjoy your patriotism for wherever you're from. So, all right. Have a great weekend, everybody. Good night. Good day. We will see you on next Thursday. Bye bye.